Radha Parisisvara Mandir. Bhagavatam ki. Transcendental book distribution ki. Harinam Sankirtan ki. Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembly. All glories to Sri Guru and Grand. All glories to Sri Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale. Srimate Bhakti Swami. Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Vichari Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome everybody. I assume the verse is number 26. Is that correct to say?
Yes, 26.
26. We are reading from the 9th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's chapter number 5 and text number 26. The title of the chapter is Durvasa, Moon is Life Spared. So we're coming close to the end. Yeah, there's just one or two more verses after this one. So kindly repeat. Shri Shukovacha.
Shri Shukovacha.
Atha. Ambarisha.
Ambarisha.
Tanuyeshu.
Tanuyeshu.
Rajam.
Rajam.
Samanashileshu.
Samanashileshu.
Vishrija.
Vishrija.
Dhiraha.
Dhiraha.
Vanam.
Vanam.
Vivesha.
Vivesha.
Atmani.
Atmani.
Vasudeve.
Vasudeve.
Manaha.
Manaha.
Dadhat.
Dadhat.
Vasta.
Vasta.
Guna Pravaha.
Guna Pravaha.
Shri Shukovacha.
Shri Shukovacha.
Atambarisha Tanayeshu Rajam.
Atambarishasthanayeshu Rajam.
Samanashileshu Vishwijadiraha.
Samanashileshu Vishwijadiraha.
Vanang Viveshatmani Vasudeve.
Vanam Viveshatmani Vasudeve.
Mano Dadadvasta Guna Pravaha.
Mano Dadadvasta Guna Pravaha.
Shri Shukovacha.
Shri Shukra Uvacha
Atambarishastanaye Shurajam
Atambarishastanayesu Rajam
Samanashileshu Vishwijadiraha
Samanashileshu Vishwijadiraha
Vanam Vishiveshatmani Vasudeve
Vanam Viveshatmani Vasudeve
Manodadadvasta Guna Pravaha
Manodadadvasta Guna Pravaha
Shri Shukovacha
Shri Shukavacha
Atambarishastanaye Shurajam
Atambarishastanayesu Rajam
Samanashileshu Viswijadiraha
Samanashileshu Vishwijadiraha
Vanam Viveshatmani Vasudeve
Vanam Viveshatmani Vasudeve
Manodadadvasta Guna Pravaha
Manodadadvasta Guna Pravaha Shri Shuka Uvacha Shri Shuka Uvacha Atambarishastanayesu Rajam Atambarishastanayesu Rajam Samanashileshu Vishwijadiraha Samanashileshu Vishwijadiraha Vanam Viveshatmani Vasudeve Vanam Viveshatmani Vasudeve Manodadadvasta Guna Pravaha Manodadadvasta Guna Pravaha
Shri Shuka Uvacha
Shri Shuka Uvacha
Atambarishastanayesu Rajam
Atambarishastanayesu Rajam
Samanashileshu Visrijadiraha
Samanashileshu Vishwijadiraha
Vanam Visheshatmani Vasudeve
Vanam Viveshatmani Vasudeve
Manodadadvasta Guna Pravaha
Manodadadvasta Guna Pravaha
Shri Shuka Uvacha
Shri Shuka Uvacha
Atambarishastanayesu Rajam
Atambarishastanayesu Rajam
Samanashileshu Viswijadiraha
Samanashileshu Vishwijadiraha
Vanam Viveshatmani Vasudeve
Vanam Viveshatmani Vasudeve
Manodadadvasta Guna Pravaha
Manodadadvasta Guna Pravaha
Shri Shuka Uvacha
Shri Shuka Uvacha
Atambarishastanayesu Rajam
Atambarishastanayesu Rajam
Samanashileshu Visrijadiraha
Samanashileshu Vishwijadiraha
Vanam Viveshatmani Vasudeve
Vanam Viveshatmani Vasudeve
Manodadadvasta Guna Pravaha
Manodadadvasta Guna Pravaha
Ladies,
Shri Shukavacha
Shri Shukavacha
Atambarishastanayesu Rajam
Atambarishastanayesu Rajam
Samanashileshu Vishwijadiraha
Samanashileshu Vishwijadiraha
Vanam Viveshatmani Vasudeve
Vanam Viveshatmani Vasudeve
Manodadadvasta Guna Pravaha
Manodadadvasta Guna Pravaha
Shri Shukavacha
Shri Shuka Uvacha
Atambarishastanayesu Rajam
Atambarishastanayesu Rajam
Samanashileshu Visrijadiraha
Samanashileshu Vishwijadiraha
Vanam Viveshatmani Vasudeve
Vanam Viveshatmani Vasudeve
Manodadadvasta Guna Pravaha
Manodadadvasta Guna Pravaha
Shri Shukovacha
Shri Shukavacha
Shukadeva Goswami said,
Shri Shukadeva Goswami said
Ataha in this way. Ambarisha,
Ambarisha,
King Ambarish,
King Ambarish,
Tanayeshu
Tanayeshu
unto his sons.
unto his sons.
Rajam
Rajam,
the kingdom.
the kingdom.
Samanashileshu
Samana Shileshu,
who were equally as qualified
who is qualified
as their father. Visrijya
Visrijya,
dividing.
dividing.
Dhiraha the
Dhira,
most learned person.
the most learned person.
Maharaj Ambarisha.
Maharaj Ambarisha,
Vanam
Vanam,
into the forest.
into the forest.
Vivesha
Vivesha,
entered.
entered.
Atmani
Admani,
unto the Supreme Lord.
unto the Supreme Lord.
Vasudeva
Vasudeva,
Lord Krishna,
Lord Krishna,
who is known as Vasudeva.
who is known as Vasudeva.
Manaha
Mana,
mind.
mind.
Dadat
Dadat,
concentrating.
concentrating.
Tvasta
Drasta,
vanquish.
vanquish.
Guna pravaha
Gunabhava,
the waves of the material modes of nature.
the waves of the material modes of nature.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Shukadeva Goswami continued. Thereafter, because of his advanced position in devotional life, Maharaj Ambarisha was who no longer desired to live with material things, retired from active family life. He divided his property among his sons, who were equally as qualified, and he himself took the order of Vanopra and went to the forest to concentrate his mind fully upon Lord Vasudeva. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. As a pure devotee, Maharaj Ambarisha was liberated in any condition of life because, as enunciated by Srila Rupa Goswami, a devotee is always liberated. Ihayasya harerasya karmana manasagira nikila svapyavastasu jivan mukta suchate. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion, Srila Rupa Goswami thus instructs that if one's only desire is service to the Lord, he is liberated in any condition of life. Maharaj Ambarisha was undoubtedly liberated in any condition, but as an ideal king, he accepted the Vanaprastha order of retirement from family life. It is essential for one to renounce family responsibilities and fully concentrate on the lotus feet of Vasudeva. Therefore, Maharaj Ambarish divided the kingdom among his sons and retired from family life. And the purport. Hare Krishna. Welcome to Devotees, Vasikananda and Mahadevi, who've just come back to Earth, back to France, I mean. They've been in the moon for the last 3 or 4 months, I think, enjoying themselves. Now they're on honeymoon. Is that what they call it? Honeymoon? It's the land of milk and honey. They just came back from New Zealand. It's called the land of milk and honey. It used to be. Anyway. I don't know if it still is. There's still honey there, isn't there? Lots of it. Lots of milk. They have a lot of cows. The biggest dairies in the world practically are in New Zealand.
And sheep also.
They have sheep there also, yeah. Lots of sheep.
So it was the land of sheep.
They have a few humans as well. There's a handful of humans hanging out here and there. Occasionally you see them, once in a while. You were in New Zealand, right?
Australia.
Oh, not quite the same.
Tasmania.
Australia's an island off the coast of New Zealand.
Yeah.
So welcome back. We hope you're happy to be back. Maybe a little tired. Maybe we're unfortunate today. We're losing the association of Antakripa and where's Gaur Hari? Where is he? There he is. They are apparently going back, they think they're going back to England. This idea that they're leaving. It's like a, you know, these kind of like vision type of idea. Anyway, thank them very much for your association here in France, Paris. Now they're going back to fire up the troops in London, being here. Who else is coming and going? I don't know. Matadi, what was your name?
Jai Kalindi.
Pardon?
Jai Kalindi.
Jai?
Kalindi.
Karini?
Kalindi.
Kalindi, Jai Kalindi. From Brazil. With us for a few days. And you're going back to Brazil, or where are you going?
I'm going to Nova Mayapur some days also.
Oh, you're going to New Mayapur. Okay, well, we'll see. When are you going?
Saturday.
Oh, if you stay till one day, we might take you down there. We have a car.
Oh.
You have your ticket already?
No.
Oh, well, let's see you afterwards. And say, maybe we haven't had a chance to talk yet. That's just part of the detail. Get some time in. And we're just coming from New Mayapur. I'm just coming from New Mayapur yesterday. And, well, nice. Very. This week we'll have, when is it? This coming week?
Yeah.
Keshwar Maharaj is coming, right?
Yeah.
Swayam Bhagam Keshwar Maharaj will be coming to France. He'll be in New Mayapur for 3 days, I think, and then 1 day here, more or less. Just passing through on the Sankirtan festival. Good, so this interesting subject matter, very significant. We see in different incidences even the pure devotees act differently. In this particular case, as Prabhupada clearly points out, that Maharaj Ambarisha is already liberated. Generally one takes Vanaprastha, and Vanaprastha ashram is specifically primarily for the Kshatriyas. Primarily. You do find exceptions to that, but generally it's an order of life which is recommended for the Vanaprasthas. Sometimes we say Brahmanas also, but Brahmanas are more or less already living like that. They may have families, so when they have the family, yes, then they take Vanaprastha. But for a Kshatriya, it's compulsory. Panchasodvam Vanam Vraja. They would take Vanaprastha at the age of 50. More or less. After, when they've got grown-up sons who are capable, even if they didn't sometimes. I mean, we see, well, this is kind of a different exceptional situation, you could say, but the father of Kapila Dev, what was his name? I've forgotten. Huh? His father was, pardon? Pardon, the husband of Devahuti, left home. Son was still quite young, but he left home. And here's another example, of course, is an exceptional case, in the case of King Vena. What was his father's name?
Anga.
His father's name was Anga? Okay. So his father left home for a different reason. But the principle was there, that they didn't just, can you imagine you've got an expansion of the Lord as your son, and Gautam Muni left home and went to the forest. You've got God as your son, more or less, you could say. And still he left. You see different situations, and you see situations according to time and circumstance where, it may not be quite the same thing, but the Kurma Brahmin, for instance, wanted to leave home and join Lord Chaitanya. He said, don't be a fool, stay at home. Stay at home. Yaradeka Tarakara Krishna Upadesh. Stay at home. And you hear and chant. and preach Krishna consciousness in your village, in your home, wherever you are. So it's different circumstances are there. But the purpose of Panchasorvam Vanam Virjet, of going away to the forest, is to become, as this purport mentions here, to become completely free from family entanglement. You okay, Russell? Have your hand up? No. If you want to make a comment or something. I know he bumped you off your class. I heard you were preparing to give class in your bed this morning. Getting ready. He has this unique way. He goes to sleep, and in his sleep he prepares class, in his dreams.
Multitasking.
Huh?
Multitasking.
Multitasking, yeah. Even in sleep he's multitasking. But here we see Ambarish Maharaj is, quitting home. Parikshit Maharaj, for a different reason, gave up his position, right? Another, exception to the general rule in one sense. Age, not the important point. The important point is really the purpose behind it. Western mind, we always think, I remember I was in Vrindavan maybe 20 years ago, 25 years ago maybe. And one sannyasi, I won't mention their name, was giving Bhagavatam class. And it was on the Pandavas leaving home, taking Vanopra. Kshatriyas don't take sannyas, by the way. That's not generally their business. They take Vanopra. They usually go with their wives and enter into the mountains or the forest like that. So the sannyasi, wonderful devotee, was just getting into the idea of the importance of Vanopra. Many things to it. And so they're giving a class, and it did say in the purport, Panchasorvam Vanam Virjet, at the age of 50, you should leave home and go to the forest. Now, sometimes we hear everyone should do that, but it's not the Vedic system. Only the Kshatriyas would do that as almost compulsory. A few qualifications maybe, but the general standard was there. So given a class, and this one devotee, I don't know where he was from, but he put his hand up afterwards and said, Maharaj, I'm 49 years old. I got married last month. What shall I do? Maharaj said, Panchasorvam Vanam Virjet. At 50, you should leave home and go to the forest. He said, but Maharaj, I just got married. You should have thought about that before you got married. Now, this is a public program with guests and all kinds of devotees. A little, I would say, insensitive to the situation. We're not in an ideal Vedic society. I was giving a Vanaprastha seminar around about the same time in Chowpatty, in Mumbai. And there were a lot of quite senior congregation members there. And they were, afterwards the leader said, Maharaj, I wasn't Maharaj then actually, said, don't expect us to follow this here. And that's in Chowpatty. And, detachment. But the main thing is, with Vanaprastha, is not a mechanical thing. We take so many things in our Krishna consciousness movement, just mechanical. Now the mechanics have to be there. They're to facilitate the ultimate purpose. But they are not in of themselves the ultimate purpose. We follow 4 regulated principles, but that's not a spiritual activity. That's just to facilitate the practice of pure devotion. You don't go back to Godhead by following 4 regulated principles. There are many other creatures following 4 regulated principles that we follow, right? But it's the principle behind it. Srila Prabhupada makes it quite clear that the essence of Vanaprastha is unams. Is indicated in the purport. Not directly, but indirectly. What is Ambarish Maharaj famous for?
Using all his senses.
Yeah, Savaimana Krishna Padara Vindayoga Changsi Vaikuntaka Nana Vanami. Goes on. Fully engaging all of his senses in the service of Krishna. Prabhupada mentions here. There's a verse in the Bhagavad Gita, he doesn't mention the verse, but he infers it. Mam Chayogya Vicharena. Suguna. Scholars are here. What does it mean?
One who fully engaged in devotional service is transcend the mode of material nature.
Doesn't fall down in any circumstance. Fully engaged in devotion service and doesn't fall down in any circumstances. Yes. Come to the level, that's the spiritual level. Iha yasya haredasya. Kamana Manasagiram, the verse Prabhupada quotes in purport. They're in a liberated state. They're not under the modes of nature. Liberation has many different inferences. It's used in different ways. Sometimes we take it as one, but it's not. Sometimes liberation is used just to become free of karmic reactions. The word is sometimes used. Sometimes it's merging into Brahman. Sometimes it's rising above, it's a similar thing, above the 3 modes of nature. And then there's other kinds of liberation. I mean, when Lord Chaitanya was talking with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, you remember in the past times when Lord Chaitanya first arrived in Jagannath Puri, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was a kind of a impersonalist, basically, preaching more or less impersonal. Very learned scholar, and but he wasn't, he was aware of it, he wasn't following the path of devotion to Krishna, personal path. And he was like a monist, he called himself a monist. So after time with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of course, his mind changed, and so he even changed one of the verses from the Bhagavatam. He remembers that verse. Pardon? Say the whole verse.
Tattenukampam susalakshimano bunjana evatana katolipakam yadvag visago
So Mukti Pade Sadayavak. He changed
Mukti Sadayavak. He changed the word Mukti Sadayavak. He changed it to Bhakti. And Lord Chaitanya, what is this? When he saw this, he said, what is this? You can't do this. He said, you can't do this. That's the Bhagavatam verse. But I can't stand this word Mukti. Because it usually infers the impersonalistic merging into the Brahman. Usually, when people say Mukti. Mukti. No, he said, this is not at all correct. You have to understand what really Mukti means. What is real Mukti? So then there's another level of liberation or Mukti, Moksha, which is when one is actually situated in one's eternal constitutional position in relationship with Krishna. So that's what the verse really infers, although others may take it differently. So Maharaj Ambarisha is, any of the purposes behind Vanopra, they may vary. Many people may have, or many of those renounced or retired living entities may have an impersonal objective. But that's not the objective of Ambarisha Maharaj or Parikshit Maharaj, or any of these, there is twofold. One, or maybe three. One, to show first-class example to others, just like Gautam Muni, the importance for those who are in that order of life, because he was living as a Brahmana, but still to show the importance of, his wife was Shakra, to show the importance of what the goal of life is. Again, it's not just mechanics. Taking sannyas, many people do, but it doesn't mean that that's success in life. The success in life is when, Prabhupada said, when we're absolutely fully engaged. Vanaprastha means to become fully engaged in the service of the Lord. And no other objective in life. That can be the stage, any order of life. That's a fact. But because most people don't realize, I was talking to a wonderful godbrother just now, who, grihastha, family life, didn't realize it, trying to take a retired life, just how attached one is. Even a 50-year-old Prabhupada, 50 years of service, 52 years of service to Srila Prabhupada's mission, and didn't realize just how attached he was to the trimmings, if you want to call it that, of family life. The children, and it keeps coming back. He thought and then the children suddenly, they left, kind of disappeared. And then they suddenly came back and wanted their parents' attention. And another test, and then there's health problems, and there's so many things. So many things that, securities, so-called securities. So-called securities. Everyone's insecure in this world because we don't belong here. So we try to overcome that with security, family life, and insurance policies, and bank balances, and material paraphernalia, houses, and maybe pets and dogs, and all kinds of things, wardrobes full of clothing, your favorite, caffeine-free coffee and tea, and so many things you may be attached to. So many things. And just the feeling of kind of like a little bit of independence, whatever it is, having your own little place. Vanaprastha means, you have to say goodbye to all of this. Goodbye. It's a kind of a verse yesterday, Prabodhananda Saraswati. Kaivalyam narakayeta tidashapura karsha pushpayate. What's that other verse? Who spoke that? Goodbye to, my morning bath, goodbye to this, goodbye to that. Bye-bye. They say when when the Pandavas, when they took Vanaprastha, they went to the north. So if you go to the north, you'll go to England from here. So. Vanaprastha, you have to go to the UK, okay? And if you're in the UK, you have to go to Scotland. Oh my God. And if you're in Scotland, you have to go to, what is it, the Orkneys or something? And then there's the Arctic Circle beyond that. Well, they used to do that. Literally, they used to go north. Generally. Not necessary, but generally.
Himalaya, towards the Himalaya.
Huh?
Towards the Himalaya.
Himalayas, yeah. In India, Himalayas. And the Himalayas are not just, Nepal. It goes on. It goes right into what now they call Russia now, into Russia. Into Russia. Amazing Purple, I've forgotten. I remember reading it. Oh my goodness. It's on my computer, I could probably find it. How Prabhupada describes how they would go to the Arctic. Not just the Himalayas. It is like inhospitable. If you look up the word Arctic, not Arctic. You go to Arctic as well, better direction. Arctic. You may find too many references.
In Bhagavatam?
I don't know. I think so. No, conversationally. conversation, something. You just look it up on database. You'll find out. You don't need to put anything else in it. If you can't find it, then I can find it later. But it says go to the north. Well, we were discussing this once a long time ago. And traditionally it doesn't just mean a geographic direction. You take these things literally sometimes. One has to understand the inner meaning behind these statements. What's the purpose? It means you walk forward, you don't look back. Oh, what about my dog? I hope they're feeding my dog. Oh my God, have they paid that bill? You don't look back. Gone, finished, forevermore. One way. That's the practical side of it. What's the real side of it is how you can possibly do that. How you can possibly do that. It's difficult to give up those thoughts of the wife and the children and the home and the kingdom. Ambarish Maharaj has a kingdom. He's not just, failure in life. Even that's difficult to give up. Yeah, guy's nothing, got no money. Failure. One time, Tamal Krishna Maharaj was talking with Prabhupada, and Tamal was saying, how Prabhupada, we're all failures, we're all failures. Yes, that's right, Prabhupada said, you're all failures. And then Tamal said, I don't understand it, Prabhupada, we're all failures. How does this movement carry on? It's proof that Krishna is in this movement. This is proof that Krishna is in this movement, because it wouldn't carry on. It was left to us. Anyway, I was saying. But Vanaprastha is not for failures any more than sannyasis. It's for those who succeed. It's not because everything else. There, I'll give it a go. I'll take Vanaprastha. I've had 8 marriages. They didn't work. Maybe I'll try Vanaprastha. I lost all my money. I'll take Vanaprastha. It's called broken cot philosophy. Broken cot philosophy. You heard that? Broken cot philosophy? The word cot comes from Sanskrit, so cot. Like a cot, a bed. And this man, he was poor. He got married, and they were quite poor, but one of the gifts they got for their wedding, I don't know if anyone gave you a bed or not, but he got a bed, a kind of cot. It's not like a Western bed, it's like this string bed, with some wood. He got a cot. So he's very happy with his cot. First night they're married, they're in their cot, and the thing breaks in the middle of the night, crashes to the floor. So the guy sleeps on the floor and then advertises it. I'm very renounced, I'm sleeping on the floor. Not like you, Grihastas. Because he had no money, he couldn't afford a bed, and the bed he had broke, so he's sleeping on the floor. Everything broke, so this kind of thing does not entitle one to take Vanaprastha and be proud of it. Vanaprastha is also to break pride. Not just attachment, but pride. This is, I am something. You get proud of that. I'm a Vanaprastha Prabhu, where's my room? Well, I'm coming, by the way, next week. I'm a Vanaprastha. Can you make sure there's someone at the airport to meet me? I'm a Vanaprastha. Have you arranged all the programs for me? This is a complete contradiction. What to speak of sannyas. Of course, the institution may feel that way inclined, but the practitioner should not. Otherwise, you're missing the point. Dependence on Krishna is the purpose, not dependent upon arrangements of other sorts. Completely depending upon Krishna, under any circumstance, not attached at all to, no expectation. It's depending, completely expecting Krishna's mercy, but how Krishna's mercy comes is another thing. sometimes we think it has to come the way we think it should come, don't we? The way I'd like it. And if it doesn't, then we think, why is Krishna doing this to me? I'm chanting Hare Krishna. I wrote something the other day. I calculated I've chanted over 1 billion names of Krishna. More than 1 billion names in the last 54 years. More than 1 billion. Between, I have no way of telling, but japa alone is over 700 million. And then what to speak of kirtans and in between. Here you see Krishna, this one, that one. Well, what is the result of all of that? What is actually happening? I don't know. I was really wondering, wow, where am I? Following 4 regulated principles, more or less, for the last 54 years. There was a few ups and downs, but more or less 54 years. And how much reading, God knows. I mean, how many hundreds of thousands of hours of reading Shastra. Hundreds of thousands of hours. How many books? Not so many. I'm not a big book distributor. Prasadam, yes. How much prasadam I've consumed. Enough to feed the whole world, you know. Unbelievable. Halava. I don't eat it now, but up to about 2 or 3 years ago, I must have consumed a few tons of halava, that's for sure. Yeah, halava was like, couldn't go a day without halava practically. Visiting so many holy places, so many temples, deities, various services. You could go on and on. The list is quite numerical. So that may have some, you could say, credit, but there's more to it than just numbers, isn't it? What's that famous verse in regards to the holy name? You say it maybe every morning, or maybe a verse related to the holy name, which we, in many temples they say it every day. Sometimes devotees say it for years and don't remember it. It's like so mechanical. So mechanical. We don't digest it. Bahu Janma. And what does that mean? Today,
by doing chanting Hare Krishna, but with offenses, you won't make progress.
Well, that's the positive way of looking at it. One may chant the holy name of the Lord for many lifetimes, but
one is infested.
Yeah, the offense is in chanting. One will not attain. What?
The goal of the chanting.
What's the goal?
Krishna praise.
Huh? Pardon?
Love of God.
Love of God. Will not attain love of God. It may take millions of lifetimes. There's more to it than just the mechanics. The mechanics are essential, but that's not the objective goal. Facilitate the awakening of our love of God. Our love for Krishna. When you love Krishna, it's just like we've been, this last few weeks, we've been delving into quite a little bit of depth actually in the life and mood of Haridas Thakur. When he was being severely beaten by the Muslim guards, trying to kill him. I don't know who he is, but they were trying to kill him. They were trying to kill him. I was all the time thinking, why haven't I got a guard? What type of respect does this temple have for me? I'm a sannyasi. I'm a senior devout disciple of Prabhupada. And they haven't even offered me a garland. You saved your life, I must say, at the last moment. One devotee asked Prabhupada, want to take sannyas? Prabhupada said, why do you want to take sannyas? He said, there's two examples. One is so that I can get all the maha. In the early days, all the maha went to the sannyasi if there was a sannyasi in the temple. What he did with it was up to him. I know, I practical experience, not me myself, but I know by practical experience what it was like, that all the maha would go to the sannyasi, and if you're lucky you get some remnants on his plate. The Prabhupada didn't appreciate that. No, that's not a good enough reason, just because you want to get the maha. Another one said, so that I don't have to take instructions from anyone else again. I become the boss. I can tell others what to do. I don't have to listen to them. These are not very good reasons for taking sannyas. There may be mixtures of reasons, but the real reason is to become freed of all of these knots, these various attachments. And you don't realize how entangling you are sometimes. And you've got to be able to take any kind of, whatever it is, Krishna deals with each and every individual in different ways to free us from this. What's that thing? Yas yaham anagri nami. What's it go, that verse? Bhagavatam also. Getting old, I can't remember. Prabhupada quoted this verse when Krishna was taking things away. It seemed every time he thought he was getting somewhere, Krishna would take it away. And then he read this verse and realized that that's actually Krishna. We don't have anything to lose anyway. You know, that's the other point, isn't it? I mean, you may think this is mine, but in reality, we don't have anything to lose. We have nothing to lose. It all belongs to Krishna. So that's one of the realizations that we have to live by, not just to theoretically speak, to live by that everything belongs to Krishna, isn't it? Hari Vilas Prabhu, when he asked Srila Prabhupada here in Paris, 1970, whatever year it was, early years, Prabhupada, what does it mean to really be humble? Prabhupada, humble means you realize that you don't have anything at all. You own nothing. Everything that exists, including you, belong to Krishna. And that nothing in this world can protect you at all. Nothing whatsoever. Only Krishna. Complete dependence on Krishna. This is genuine humility. It's not some, behavior pattern which we define as reactions to circumstances, or, how you see yourself as, no good for nothing. That's not humility. It may be, it may not be, but that's not the real understanding. It's like Haridas Thakur, we were hearing how he was being beaten. And he wasn't affected in any way. He wasn't thinking, oh my God, I don't know how we would feel. I don't know if we would feel at all. We'd probably be dead after a few minutes. But he wasn't feeling anything. He was just, that's why it said in the Sikshastakam, Trinadapi Snichena. What does that mean?
Tolerant than a tree.
Tolerant Sahishna, more tolerant than a tree. What does it mean, more tolerant than a tree? Oh, you could say tolerant like a tree, but more tolerant, no. Lower than the straw on the street. Not just like the straw on the street, but lower. More tolerant than a tree. What was Haridas Thakur's tolerance? That defined it different to anyone else's tolerance. They are tolerant.
He was praying for them.
But yeah, it invokes, or it includes absolute compassion and no concern about one's own. Not that I'm going to tolerate this. Just see how I tolerate it. I'm so tolerant. He never even thought of that. He was completely absorbed, like Prahlad, in chanting the holy names of Krishna. and simultaneously praying for the welfare of the guards who were trying to kill him. Please don't punish them. Please release them from their bondage. He's praying like this for their welfare. Trees don't do that. Neither do people. You may tolerate something, but how do you feel when somebody puts you in difficulty? You may tolerate it, but how do you feel? Normal person in this world. How do they feel? Someone's giving them torturing. Torture, yeah. Prahlad and both Prahlad and Haridas were tortured. How do you feel? I mean, you've never been tortured, but you've heard about it. How would you feel? You're being tortured. Pardon?
You want to avenge to.
Many times you feel you want to avenge those people. It goes right back even in this lifetime. Somebody did something to us, and we want to get our own back, isn't it? We want to get our own back, They did this to me, isn't it? Come on, get off your mundane horse. They may have done that to you, but who are you and who are they? And why did it happen? Is it just this is completely material philosophy. Call it philosophy, it's just mundanity. The devotee should see things a little bit beyond that. Devotee should see beyond the here and now, or trying to justify my situation because they did this, my parents, this one, that one, this one. It may have gone on. We've got to rise above all of that. And Krishna is trying to take it away, and we're trying to hold on to it. Everyone's a victim in this world. Everyone's victimizing others. Everyone. You can't help it if you're in the material modes. Everyone's just... everything people do is just entangling each other in Maya, in illusion. You have to let go of these things. It's not us. It belongs to Krishna. We're getting our karma and so on and so forth, and we have our unfortunate misconceptions about who we are and so on. You have to rise above it. The Brahman realized, for our sake, he already realized, but showed for our sake, that this is actually Krishna's mercy, Haridas Thakur. Whatever you do to me, you can cut my body into millions of pieces, I don't mind. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. So we all ready to go to the forest? There's a forest up the road, we can all go up there. It is north also, I believe. We can all walk up there after and before breakfast. Let me take my last meal. Yeah. What's there to eat there? There's some bark. Just maybe some roots and some acorns or something maybe. I don't know. Leaves, dried leaves. You can eat dried leaves. Nice or fresh ones at this time of year.
Nice barbecues.
Huh?
Nice barbecues.
Not that one. I'm talking of the nice forest up there,
I don't know.
Ah.
Sorry.
That's not
Same.
a forest.
My Grastas are meant to do it.
Huh? Huh? What do you say?
Grastas are meant to do it.
Only if they're Kshatriyas. That means those like temple presidents. They're meant to. You can, Prabhupada writes, you can go from the Brahmachari ashram to the Vanaprastha ashram, by the way. You don't have to go through the Grihastha ashram. That's right. But whatever it is, the point is, what's behind it all? Why are we doing all these things? Why are you worshipping the deities? Just get it done? Because you like it? That's not bad, by the way. But there obviously is a much deeper purpose behind it, isn't it? Why are you distributing books? Well, I'm not. I try, but I don't. You know, you want this different books.
Oh, in the morning I can say.
Yes, you've got it spot on.
Everyone say.
So you can
"Haribo."
announce yourself in the morning.
Yes.
Yes, and everyone can go, hey! We had one devotee in Bury Place in London. He left his body some years ago, but he was our top book distributor in the early 70s. And he would go, he had terrible sadhana, by the way, I mean, in terms of measurement. If he was there all for japa, it was like, you had to wake him up every few seconds, you know. Class, the same thing. Didn't have very good sadhana. And one time Trivikram Swami was giving class, and this devotee asked him, Maharaj, I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. Almost every day I'm the top book distributor, and I got the worst sadhana in the temple. He was quite honest about it. And then the Trivikram Maharaj asked him, what would you do if you weren't, you know, so good on book distribution? I'd leave. I'd go away. Krishna was reciprocating. His motive for doing it was, in those days, the top book distributor would get the entire Mahaplate in the morning, breakfast plate, which was quite something, since everyone else, all they got was boiled semolina in water, with sugar and chickpeas. So it was quite an incentive to be the top book distributor from that point of view. But neither one, but Krishna was reciprocating. You know, he wanted to give this devotee. He became a wonderful devotee in every respect as he matured. Krishna, you know, he knows he's reciprocating, but ultimately he's not going to take things away. If we insist, he may, but he's not going to do it otherwise. There's a Vedic system of helping us to detach, particularly those in the Kshatriya order of life. We follow that system for this higher purpose, and to show others too what the higher purpose of life is. It's not just to be a success in this world. No one is a success in this world. Nobody. We don't belong here. Just relative failures. I'm a better failure than you. I'm a more successful failure than you are. I'm the best failure. Listen to me. I know how to fail very well. How to become entangled more and more in the intricacies of material energy. More money, more fame, more whatever. Everyone's like this. They want more and more and more. Pretty much. The rat race, as they say. Isn't it? You've heard this? Rat race? In the West, they sometimes call this idea of trying to progress, you know, material progress, the rat race. I see a poster one time. Even if you win the rat race, you're still a rat. We're still rats. We're still in Maya. And to get out of that, Krishna's, we have to see it from different angles. All that needs to change is our perception, not the situation. Perception. How we see it. How we see it. And if we see it in a relative terminology only, from a relative point of view, action needs to be taken. But from the spiritual point of view, we have to see it in a different perspective. And if we see our heart becoming hard and angry and hatred coming in, then for sure, absolutely for sure, we're seeing it wrongly. We're not seeing it correctly. We should be following, or at least following the path of Haridas Thakur, Prahlad Maharaj, Ambarisha Maharaj, how he reacted when Durvasa Muni tried to kill him. Didn't he? These are our acharyas. We don't follow some mundane idiots or mundane morality. You may have to follow it for the sake of institutional survival to some degree, but that's not our actual purpose, is to rise beyond, to see beyond that. To understand that Krishna's hand is working in everything, absolutely everything. And they're teaching us a little bit of how to work towards that, by their example. Okay, Hare Krishna. Are we all ready? Are you getting everyone prepared now? Get everyone's lunch packed. We're going to the forest. We've got some dried leaves, I think, and some bark. We got the bark ready for everyone to put on?
Yes.
You have the bark ready if you want to get your bark ready. You're supposed to wear tree bark. We even eat tree bark. Chew it. Very nourishing. Yeah.
We have a cherry tree right now. So
Pardon?
it's a good time of year though.
It's a great time of year. The weather's going to be nice. At least today.
And we have a cherry tree also.
Pardon?
A cherry tree also.
Cherries. Maybe you can eat some cherries before you go. It's berries. Cherries are berries. So we're allowed to eat berries. Save a lot of money.
Yeah.
Don't need a bank account anymore. Don't need a car. Nothing. Live under a different tree every night. Build a cottage. Hare Krishna. Any questions? Skipped over a few things here, probably left a few things out that I started. Generally, people are not ready for this, are they? Hello, Shuddha Sambhava. Almost everyone in Kali Yuga is Shuddha. They're not ready for this. But Prabhupada was hoping that amongst his disciples, amongst the followers of in this movement, that some devotees would take this on board. But not everyone. Not ready for it. The main thing is to be fully engaged. We're grihastha, brahmachari, whatever it is. After all, we're not people in the church. Do not be Vaishya. We're none of these things anyway. What are we?
Das and Das.
We're das anudas. He's a das anudas. There's a das and an as. A das and an as.
Yes.
He's not an ass. He's a real das. Das anudas. We were on Harinam one time in Germany. Oh my God. It was in eastern, what we used to be called Eastern Germany, in this little town in the hills somewhere, south eastern Germany, way over there, somewhere below Leipzig, somewhere below Chemnitz, somewhere out that way. We're in this small town. I think we're the first ones ever to do Harinam there, I'm not sure. But we were doing this. We came to this bus stop and there was all these kids there, school kids. You've got to hear this, just 10 seconds. If you think it's interesting here, this was eye-opening. And I can never forget that little boy, maybe 12 to 14-year-old kid with glasses, looked really one of these swat-a-lot, scholastic-looking kids, you know. And he shouted at me, "You can't do this here! This is Germany! We are Germans!" He was going like this, you know, roaring, almost gnashing his teeth, little kid, you know, bursting, you know, in anger. "This is Germany! You can't do this here!" We were chanting Hare Krishna. "I'm German!" "Are you French?" Yesterday, you're chanting Hare Krishna. What's that place? Cluny, huh? Cluny Sorbonne. Cluny Sorbonne? Mm-hmm. Outside that old Roman relic or whatever it is there, you know, that old building on the corner, you know. And just much traffic, you know, 2 lane, 4 lanes of traffic roaring by. And some lady who lives in a an apartment right on the other side of the road, 100 meters away, someone complaining, "You are disturbing me. Will you shut up and go away?" He was disturbed. Isn't it amazing? She likes the traffic roaring all day and night, practically speaking. Can't stand the sound of the holy name. So unfortunate what to do. Anyway, she heard the sound. And the devotee prays for their welfare. More tolerant. Not really want that. Revenge. I want to get my own back. Get money. Nowadays it's the whole thing. Go to court, get money, and get a big load of money there. Yeah. Tear them down. You may tear them down, but how does that help us in our spiritual lives? God only knows. It doesn't. We're only here to advance in Krishna consciousness, whatever order of life, whatever happens in our lives. Try to see Krishna in the center. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Premanandi.
Holiness, Janananda Krishna Maharaj ki
Jai.
Into the puja now. See how they do.
There is one regarding artics.